work led to more commercial enterprises. For a local woman who was proud to trace her ancestors to Scotland, Leda had occupied several of the surviving bits of embroidery stitched by Mary, Queen of Scots, during her long incarceration in England. Once word had gotten around that Leda could produce such small masterpieces without the aid of a kit, orders came flooding in. The most popular of the images were without a doubt the ones that featured animals. The Kate, Jupiter, one of Mary's pet dogs, Delphin, a dolphin, Frog, and Eep were clear favorites. Leda's bread and butter work, however, was making originally designed rugs, pillows, chair pads, table linens, and accessories like eyeglass cases and change purses. These she sold locally at home decorating shops such as wainscoting and window seats, owned by her friend Phil Morse. Leda also sold her work at the Busy Bee quilt shop and a few of the tourist stores in the area. She did have a website, latimercreations.com, though it didn't get significant traffic. Leda wasn't exactly good at self-promotion. In fact, she had set up the website only at her daughter's urging. "Everyone has an online presence these days, Mom," Amy had argued. "You'll be totally left behind if you don't have a website." Left behind what? Leda had been tempted to ask, but she knew what her daughter meant. Only weeks earlier, she had learned the meaning of FOMO. Vera, her closest friend, had explained it in context of an article she was reading about current trends in the food industry. It means fear of missing out. It pertains to those people who need to be tuned into media of all sorts 24/7. Leda had laughed. "I live to miss out," she exclaimed, to which reply Vera had given her a look Leda found disconcerting. Maybe keeping one's head in the sand wasn't always the smartest thing. Still, Leda did all right. It didn't hurt that her mortgage was small, as her parents, Anne and Paul Gleason, had paid off most of it before they died. When Amy was 7, the little house on Hawthorne Lane came to Leda in their will. The house suited Leda's and Amy's needs perfectly. There were 3 bedrooms and a full bathroom on the second floor. Amy had the largest of the bedrooms, Leda the second largest, and the smallest was kept as a guest room. The first floor comprised a cozy kitchen, big enough for a table at which to eat meals, a living room, and Leda's studio. 3 of the studio's walls were mostly windows, allowing for plenty of light. An ear-piercing scream of the feline sort caused Leda to jump. The noise had come from Winston Churchill, though it might equally have come from Harry, a.k.a. Henry VIII. Both were large and grumpy and demanded constant attention. They were suspicious of visitors, even ones they knew, which was probably why Winston had let out a warning. Indeed, a moment later, Leda heard the back door, the one that led from the small hall off the studio into the yard, open and shut with a bang. Vera Cecil had a way with doors. A moment later, Leda's assumption was confirmed when Vera appeared in the doorway of the studio. Her short, dark hair was sticking up like a rooster's coxcomb, and she was wearing an old plaid shirt Leda knew for a fact she often wore to bed. "Well," Vera announced, throwing her hands in the air. "It's over. Another relationship bites the dust." "What happened?" Leda asked, putting down her embroidery hoop. "I thought things were going really well for you two." "So did I," Vera admitted. She strode into the room and flopped into the armchair on which one of Leda's hand-stitched quilts was draped. She was no sooner seated than Harry was on her lap. "You'll read about it in the paper tomorrow, but I might as well tell you now. The charming Kitty Doyle is a bank robber. Well, she was a bank robber, back when she was known as Katie Dunn." "Wait," Leda said. "What?" "You heard me. The police turned up at the door first thing this morning with an arrest warrant. You can imagine my surprise. I hadn't even had my first cup of coffee. It wasn't until after 10 o'clock, 3 hours after the cops dragged my girlfriend off to the slammer, that it sunk in. I'd been harboring a criminal without knowing it." "A bank robber? Really?" Leda shook her head. "Where do you find these people? Wait, don't tell me. I don't want to know. I hope the police believe you, that you had no knowledge of Kitty's past." Vera rubbed her eyes with the palms of her hands. "They seemed to," she said, "but my lawyer will press the point." "It's kind of too bad, really," Leda said.